Today, we're going to unfold the story of a symbol garment that's also, amazingly, a canvas for 1,000 years of Japanese history, art, and identity. We're talking about the kimono, and it's a really remarkable journey, starting as this humble, hidden undergarment and becoming a global fashion icon. What's so fascinating is the whole philosophy behind it. A kimono isn't about forcing your body to fit the clothes. It's about the clothing embracing the body. I mean, that's a fundamentally different way of thinking about what we wear. And it really sets the stage for the entire history of this incredible piece of clothing. And it all starts with this beautiful simplicity. The name itself, kimono, literally just means a thing to wear. That's it. No more, no less. It's such a humble name for what is, you could argue, one of the most complex and artistically rich garments in the entire world. So how did this simple thing to wear turn into such a powerful cultural symbol? Well, our story kicks off in the imperial courts of the Heian period. But the garment that would eventually become the kimono, it wasn't the star of the show. Not even close. Actually, it started its life completely hidden from view. Okay, so on the left, you're looking at the junihitoe, or 12-layer robe. This was the absolute peak of fashion for the courtly elite. Just unbelievably heavy, complicated, and totally impractical for, daily life. But hidden underneath all those magnificent layers was the simple garment on the right, the kosode. Its name means small sleeves, and it was just the basic functional undershirt. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. The blueprint for the modern kimono was right there the whole time, just waiting for its moment. And that moment came with a major power shift. As the warrior class, the samurai, rose to prominence, they needed something efficient, something they could actually move in. Those cumbersome 12 layers, they just weren't going to work. The kosoda, though, it was perfect. And just like that, it went from being an undergarment to the main event, purely because it was practical. Okay, so now let's get into how the kimono really entered its golden age. With the kosode now the go-to garment, it was about to go through this incredible transformation, from a simple, practical robe into a truly breathtaking work of art, all during a really unique period in Japanese history. So for over 250 years, during what's called the Edo period, Japan was pretty much isolated from the rest of the world. This long stretch of peace under the Tokugawa shogunate created this kind of cultural incubator. With almost no outside influence, Japanese arts, especially textile design, just flourished in this spectacular and totally unique way. A really key evolution during this time was the obi. It started as nothing more than a simple cord to tie the robe shut, but over time it got wider, way more decorative, and much more structured. And this wasn't just, an accessory change, it fundamentally changed the kimono shape, creating that iconic straight-line silhouette we all recognize today. And this right here, this represents a true artistic explosion. The invention of the yuzen dyeing technique was a total game changer. It let artists basically paint on silk, creating these flowing landscapes, delicate flowers, and dramatic scenes. The human body literally became a moving canvas. But after centuries of being closed off, everything was about to get turned on its head. When Western influence arrived in the 19th century, it created this huge cultural crossroads, forcing Japan to kind of redefine its traditions and sparking a real identity crisis for its national garment. And this is such a pivotal moment. See, before this, a kimono was just clothes. But once Western suits and dresses showed up, a distinction had to be made. All of a sudden, the kimono became wafuku, Japanese clothes, and got framed as traditional. In contrast, Western styles were labeled yofuku, or modern clothes. This one moment redefined the kimono's place in society forever, and it created this powerful cultural shorthand for Japan's relationship with its own past, and of course, the outside world. So this big shift had some really clear and lasting impacts. Men, especially in business and politics, they quickly adopted Western suits as a symbol of modernity, a way to engage on the world stage. And this left women as the primary guardians of the kimono tradition, a vessel for a distinctly Japanese identity. But even then, the West had an influence. New chemical dyes from Europe brought in this shocking new palette of vibrant purples and greens that were just impossible to make with natural dyes, and they completely changed the look of the kimono forever. So the kimono manages to survive this identity crisis, right? And it really solidifies its role as this incredible cultural treasure. But it's so much more than just a beautiful object. It's a language, it's a calendar, and it's a piece of living history. This table just shows it brilliantly, how a kimono is so deeply connected to nature and the passing of time. You don't just wear a pattern because it's pretty, you wear it to reflect a very specific moment. You'd wear cherry blossoms in anticipation of their arrival, not when they're already in full bloom. In winter, you'd wear pine, bamboo, and plum as symbols of resilience against the cold. It's really like a wearable form of poetry. Now, you might be thinking a garment with all this deep tradition would be kind of stuck in the past. But honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth. The kimono is not some relic in a museum. It's being actively and creatively reimagined right now. I mean, a whole new generation is just deconstructing the rules. They're wearing kimonos with combat boots, swapping out the traditional obi for a leather belt, or even layering them over hoodies. And because of how it's made, from single straight panels of cloth, it's also become a perfect symbol for the slow fashion movement. This is a garment designed to last, to be easily repaired and resized, the total opposite of today's disposable clothing. And that elegant T-shaped silhouette, it just continues to inspire designers all over the world. So when you step back and look at it, this one thing to wear carries the weight of history, the beauty of art, and the spirit of changing times, all within its folds. It's a real testament to how a garment can be so much more than just something we put on. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought. The kimono tells a 1,000-year story. What story will our clothes tell about us 1,000 years from now?